when we met, it was this intense feeling. Magnus, he put me on a pedestal. He gave me so much love, so I didn't have to give myself any love. I thought that this must be it. This must be the real thing. After a couple of months, you couldn't really keep that love bombing going. It was like, oh, you don't answer my text messages right away, and you aren't so present in our conversations, and you want to hang out with other people. And I was like, my God, what's happening?
We had a really intense relationships from the beginning.
We had good days, more good days than bad days in the beginning, but in the end, it was like almost only bad days. It was this anxious feeling all the time.
And I felt more or less like in a prison. This is my demands. You need to fulfill them. If I didn't succeed, everything was bad. If I almost fulfilled them, it wasn't good enough either. So I always need to be on top. And then I just resigned. I needed to be fulfilled with love. And when I felt the demands, I backed. And then she got panicked and needed more and went after me. So it's
I think,
and I pushed her away then. I think,
but we could have an argument, and it could take like 5 or 7 days before we connected together again. When I contacted you, Sharif, actually Magnus had paused the relationship. He said, this is enough.
I remember, Anna, when you first reached out to us after you finished the program, and you said some words that really stuck in my head. Like it was like a magic wand, I think you said, had been waved over the relationship. And it's like you'd fallen in love again, but differently, but in a more anchored way. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
During the LBL course, I learned about masculine and feminine energy. It was completely new for me, and that really resonated with me. And I noticed that changed because I surrendered to the process. And when I surrendered to that, it was like you were like coming towards me again. When I told him to give me love and he did it, it wasn't worth anything. But now when he give it for free, it's worth so much more.
I felt I don't know, much lighter and free in our relationship. We laugh more.
We laugh a lot. When we were really, really bad, we told each other we don't laugh anymore. It was so toxic and so bad. I feel free as well because I have my own life. I don't need him anymore. And that feels so good.
Yeah, the energy is more. I mean, she started to go dance classes, and she's more happy and all over the place.
Really love when Magnus takes the lead and support.
I feel more trusted, not controlled. I feel that I can do what I want. I do more for us, both for me and for us.
All of my relationships has changed. The relationship with my best friend, with my sister, with my kids, and with my parents.
They inspire me a lot. All of this talking change has made me, made me better also.
I don't think any of us believe that we should sit here today together because it was so bad.
Women were asking you, okay, what do I need to do to make my man, give me more love or attention or whatever, to be more in the relationship? Would you have an answer for them? All right, and we are going.
We are live.
Hello, Anna and Magnus. Thank you so much for doing this interview with us. How are you doing?
Yeah, we're fine.
We're fine.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, that's good. It's good that you're fine because when I first spoke to you, Anna, things weren't fine.
Weren't.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, beautiful. Well, again, thanks for doing this. We really love to sort of have these interviews and create a source of inspiration. Like you said, Anna, we spoke before, and I know it's important to you as well to create this sort of hope for a lot of people who are feeling very stuck, specifically women who are feeling stuck in their relationships as well. And so I guess the first thing I'd love to ask you is then what were things like before when you and I first spoke? Your sort of relationship, what were the feelings you were having? What was that like back then?
We was really stuck because I can give some background. When I met Magnus, I had been single for 1.5 years. I had a 20-year-old relationship with my kid's father that I ended. And during that time when I was single, I should have focused on learning how to love myself and be an independent person. Because in that relationship, I lost myself completely. But instead, I was just focusing on finding a partner who could love me. And when I met you, Magnus, he put me on a pedestal. He gave me so much love, so I didn't have to give myself any love. And I thought that this must be it. This must be the real thing. But after a couple of months, you couldn't really keep that love bombing going. So it was like, oh, you don't answer my text messages right away, and you don't you aren't so present in our conversations, and you want to hang out with other people. And I was like, my God, what's happening?
I needed to text her, I don't know, once 4th hour. Otherwise she was and then it became needs that needs to be filled.
Because I needed you to like give me that attention. And
and what did that feel like for you? What did that feel like for you, Magnus? This feeling of I gotta message her, or she's gonna, get upset, or what was that like?
Yeah, but I mean, I was really crushed in love with her directly, and we had a really intense relationships from the beginning. And I think we both felt that she did what she did for me with love, and but then it turned to demands. I mean, we wanted to text each other from the beginning all the time because we were really in love. But then when she started to ask why I haven't texted her, I could been in really many meetings on the day in work, and I couldn't. And then she was upset because I haven't texted her. Then it was beginning to feel strange, and wait a minute, this isn't right. This thing started to escalate.
It did. And and I started to tell you have to do this and you have to do that, because then I feel okay.
Right. So you both had started to develop a kind of anxiety. Your anxiety, why hasn't he texted? His anxiety, I've got a text.
And the more demands I put on you, the more you stepped away. So we started this avoidant anxious dance, and I started to read about attachments as well, and I understood that this must be something, and I think this started after a half a year, I think. And then our relationship was getting what do you say, more
polarized.
We got polarized, and I think it was 1.5 year before I met you, Sharif.
I think we struggled at a year or so.
And we had we had good days, more good days than bad days in the beginning, but in the end it was like almost only bad days. So we were it were really, really toxic.
And so what was the worst bit about that time for you both, do you think?
I don't know. I think for me it was this anxious feeling all the time.
And I felt more or less like in a prison that I don't know. Yeah. What do you granskad when you're you checked me all the time, and you said, this is my demands, you need to fulfill them. She had this
like pressure and trapped in this kind of
there was no freedom at all.
No. And if I didn't succeed, everything was bad. So and I think your needs, if I almost fulfill them, it wasn't good enough either. So I always need to be on top, and then I just resigned and
so then when you said polarized, so was it sort of, because some couples, they end up arguing a lot and it's really full on, but some couples end up just being really distant from each other. What was the flavor? How did it manifest between the two?
Yeah, but she had the demands. She needed to be fulfilled with love, and when I felt the demands, I backed. And then she got panicked and needed more, and went after me. So it's
I think,
and I pushed her away. Then I think don't come back with your demands.
No, because I think I was doing the arguing, and you were like doing the avoidant thing.
And when you have come up to me too much and hunted me too much, I just pushed you away. I think then I got angry, and I don't know how I expressed myself, but
but we could have an argument, and it could take like 5 or 7 days before we connected together again, because you were so far away and I was
wow. I mean, I
shut down, I think. I put up my fence, and you can't come closer to me now.
Because I hurted you.
I mean, I just have to say, because you're recounting it now and it sounds so painful, but I just love the way that you both are being able to be so honest and laugh about it now. Like, it really struck me just hearing you. That's so beautiful.
I was just going to say, it's such a sign that when you can talk about it in a way that's so easy, and that's the indicator to me that so much healing is taking place and still taking place, that you can you're out of that danger zone where if you mention the thing, we're going to go back, so it's really beautiful.
It's
we're both much more reflective now, because we know how we did before and how we danced, our bad dances.
So we can stop it before it goes too far.
I think we looked at, checked other apartments and like every day, both of us on each side, but we didn't break up.
Because you were looking to we were
doing that, but none of us could leave the relationship. But when I contacted you, Sharif, actually Magnus had paused the relationship. He said, this is enough, because my inner teenager has gone crazy. I was like throwing things in the floor, and I was like, love me, see me, and you just had enough. And you said, I need a pause. And I said, okay, for how long? And you started with a couple of days, and the days went to weeks, and I was like asking, are you in or are you out?
And so was that so was that the thing, Anna, that brought you into LBL? What was the thing?
It was that thing, because I felt not another relationship. It must be something that is wrong, because it felt so good in the beginning. And I also felt that I have 2 kids that I'm going to raise to be strong and independent people. And I can't love myself. How could I learn them to love themselves? and I'm 42 years old, and I think, no, it's enough now. I have to do something. Yeah.
So powerful. And had you tried other things before you came into LBL? Had you tried other things?
Yeah, I tried several types of therapy, and I remember when we went to couples therapy as well, but it didn't give us so much. And I had my own therapy during the same time, and that woman, she told me, Anna, you have to create your own life. And I was like, what? I don't need my own life. I have the relationship. That's enough. So I didn't. I couldn't take in what she was saying, because it was too spot on. Yeah.
And did you?
Yeah.
I was going to say, did you try? Because oftentimes, Anna, you know, women in that your kind of situation that you were in, they know that, and they say, oh well, okay, I'm going to keep myself busy with other things, or I'm going to try and do stuff, but it doesn't quite work when the purpose of it is to just sort of distract, right?
Yeah. That was exactly what. And I knew I had to get my own life, because me and my ex-man, we told each other often that we had to do things for our own, but we was just in the relationship, and we didn't have our own life. So I'm not used to that. I don't know what my own life means. But now I do.
So here, the big question then is, you know, you tried the therapy, you tried to sort of have your own life, but, you know, it didn't really work. And you had this sort of thing where you're even looking at going your separate ways, and it sounds very painful. I suppose the question everybody's going to be curious about then is, how are things now? Like, what are the changes that you've noticed in Magnus? And actually, I suppose I'd like to ask you, Magnus, first, is what are the shifts that you noticed in Anna after, or maybe during she was doing the Led by Love program?
I think that the main thing is that she backed off. She talked to me, and she said that she knew that it was wrong that she came with these demands, and I could both see and hear what she was saying about she need to do more of herself, and we have this separate lives. It's not only the relationship. She has her life and I have mine, and we both need to respect each other's lives, and the lives with the children. And so it was when I heard and I understood that she understood that we need to respect each other's lives, I think I felt more relieved, and I felt I don't know, much lighter and free in our relationship, because I felt that she could give me that what I needed, and then I also, of course, gave her more what she needed.
Well,
there was so much.
Is it something like this is and I want to point out as well, for the people watching, the difference between men and women. When we ask this question, how does something feel, it's so much easier for you ladies to say how it feels. For us men, you know, I know for myself, I have to really, one of the hardest questions you can ask me is, how does it feel, or how are you feeling? I'm like, wait, give me a minute. I need to find out, you know. But Magnus, I think what you're describing, it sounds to me like I've experienced myself, and so many men who I've spoken to, where when, you know, their partners, when their ladies really find themselves, when they come home to themselves, and it's almost like at first there was this sort of pressure and like, I'm being watched all the time. Everything, I can feel that all this attention is sort of on me. And then when that goes, when the pressure comes off, when the kind of weight comes off, when the prison doors open, then suddenly actually, it's like a relief. And then the interesting thing as well is now my energy goes here more, whereas before I was constantly trying to get away from it.
Yeah.
When that happens now, I'm naturally sort of more interested in her, you know, and my partner, because I'm free to. Is that similar sort of thing for you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly like that. Like exactly that feeling.
Yeah. And I noticed that changed because when I surrendered to the process, and I told you at the first I didn't told you, I just told myself I don't need any answers anymore. I don't need him to say I'm in or out, because it's about me. What do I want? And when I surrendered to that, it was like you are like coming towards me again. Yeah. And then I told you the next day as well that you don't have to give me any answers. We just try and see what's happened with us.
I mean, that's so powerful. I mean, I think that's such a powerful move. Yeah, because it's so challenging, isn't it? Like you said, to actually be able to not know, to be able to not know, to step into the unknown, to surrender. But it's so powerful once you're able to do that. Yeah. I really hear that. But it's stepping over that threshold.
Yeah.
And what did that feel like, Anna? What does it feel like now to instead of having to chase him and pressure him to give you stuff, without you having to make him do anything, and without us having to make him do anything either, you have this experience of, you know.
Yeah. Well, when I told him to give me love and he did it, it wasn't worth anything. But now when he give it for free, it's worth so much more. And that surrender feels also so light in me. I feel I have spent so much time worrying and having these anxious thoughts, and now I have so much time to do something else instead.
And so what does the relationship feel like now between you? Yeah, so how is it shifted? What do you notice in each other? What do you notice in the relationship?
The energy.
What are the changes you've noticed now? Yeah.
We laugh more.
Yeah, we laugh a lot.
Yeah.
That when we were really, really bad, we told each other we don't laugh anymore. It was so toxic and so bad. And now we laugh a lot, and we have
better discussions.
Yeah, better discussions, and our conflict. We still have conflicts, but I don't take it like, okay, and now we have different opinions. He doesn't love me. Can have different opinions and still be in a relationship. So we both want the other one to feel good in the conflict, I think.
Wow, because a lot of people, just sorry to interrupt you there, Magnus, a lot of people, they're like, I want him to love me, but actually beneath that, there's in some ways an even deeper need just to be understood by the other. Like you said, you don't need to agree, but as long as there's some kind of mutual understanding, there's something really profound and nourishing about that.
We're more interested in each other instead of just ourselves, and that's why we also reflecting more and try to understand the other person, to know to get closer in the discussions.
So it sounds like you've become on the same team, where instead of on like there's my team and his team, or his, and now you're on the same team, and instead of having lots of expectation on each other, there's an appreciation for each other, and this sort of setting each other up to win.
Yeah, exactly, because it was in that constant fight with each other I want to win. And now it's like, oh, how do you feel when I do that, or how does it feel for you? It's more like and more like teamwork.
And that magic ingredient, like you said, of laughing more, I think, it's something Sharif and I do a lot, and there's a lot of play and there's a lot of fun. And I think it's so powerful, isn't it, to have that in the relationship? Because it's sort of like a way of whatever emotional stuff is happening, it keeps it moving, and it keeps it light, and you can work through a lot of stuff when you have that kind of, you're able to go to that place with each other.
Yeah.
And so what's the if you had to sort of summarize the difference in the sort of energy of the relationship and therefore, you know, your life, because it's such a big part of your life, of course, is where what it felt like before versus what it feels like now, Anna, if you had to sort of, I don't know, just contrast the two.
It's before, when we met, it was this intense feeling, but it was I had these anxious feelings as well, so it took a lot of energy, and now I feel free as well, because I have my own life. I don't need him anymore, and that feels so good, because I plan my own things, and before I used to plan my own things when he planned his own things. Now I plan my own things, and it's a relief.
And how about for you, Magnus? If you had to say the difference between, you know, back then, you know, a few months ago versus now, what's the main difference that you feel?
Yeah, but we were more controlling on each other, and always asked up each other, why are you doing that for, and why is this and why is that, and so it's more like there was a negative and controlling feeling in our relationships, and now it's more happy, as we said. We laugh more, and we're more glad for each other. Oh, you're going to do that, was it fun? Happy for you. And so it's more more joy, and more freedom, and more, it feels lighter, and I don't know.
How does Anna feel different to you, Magnus? What does she feel like, you know, how she was before? Like, what was the sort of energy you got from her versus how she feels to you now?
The energy is more, I mean, she started to go dance classes, and she's more happy and all over the place now. Then it was more like controlling, and with the Captain Anna that was ruling the relationship.
Now she's more like around.
Now she's maybe but
I remember, Anna, when you first reached out to us after you finished the program, and you said some words that really stuck in my head. Like it was like a magic wand, I think you said, had been waved over the relationship, and it's like you'd fallen in love again, but differently, but in a more anchored way. Can you tell us a little bit about that energy that you really noticed?
I during the LBL course, I learned about masculine and feminine energy. It was completely new for me, and that really resonated with me, and I have read a lot about it, and I think that's a big part of the feeling we have right now, because I really love when Magnus takes the lead and support, and I took when we bought the little summer house as an example, that you were like structuring, and you were collecting the information, and you were contacting all the people, and I was like feeling, oh, you used your head and I was using my stomach. Does it feel good? Is the can we spend time here with these children, and how would it feel, and like that. So I think the energies has done a lot for us, and I Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, it's like you're each able to be in your own lane, because sometimes we're trying to, sometimes we're trying to be the masculine and sometimes we just need to lean back, and it's there's so much more flow and energy and magic, isn't it, in the relationship, when you can kind of be like, I can do what I can be in the relationship and attune to my strengths, like you said, the creative stuff, the intuitive stuff with the house.
Yeah.
And it works so well when Magnus does all the planning and the strategic, and it's so good when you're able to do it. I think that's something that works with Sharif and I as well so well. We just run in our own lanes. I'm not trying to be a man, he's not trying to be the woman.
No. Exactly.
And Magnus, I don't know about you, but well, I guess what do you feel that that you are trusted more, that there's because this is something that's really been big for me, and again, many of the other men I've spoken to, is that when these shifts take place for her, there's this sort of feeling of being trusted more, which then makes you kind of want to show up more and do more. I don't know if you've been conscious of that, or whether it's just happened automatically. What's been your experience of that?
Yeah, it's like exactly as you said. I mean, I feel more trusted, not controlled, and so I'm more free, and I want to. I don't know. I can. I feel that I can do what I want, and I do more than for us, both for me and for us. It is like that, and I mean, it's just trust. We respect each other.
Yeah.
I feel more respect and trusted, as you said.
And also when you took the lead, I could tell you, don't do this, or don't do it that way. You have to do it this way. And then it's not so fun to take the lead or plan stuff if it's wrong all the time. So I think that's a change as well, that I do trust you to
before either way I did it was wrong in some way. Then I just as I said.
And I'm curious as well, Anna, what other areas of your life then have changed as a result? Obviously the relationship itself has the energy of it's completely changed. It feels somewhere that you're supported now. And has that shown up in other areas of your life? What other sort of changes have you noticed that maybe aren't necessarily the relationship?
I think all of my relationships has changed. The relationship with my best friend, with my sister, with my kids, and with my parents, because I visited my parents some weeks ago, and I tried to see the positive things and not the negative things that I did before, and I also encouraged the things that I like about my parents instead of complaining, and I saw a huge change.
Wow, that is huge.
It's huge, and then although not entirely surprising, it's not the first time we've seen that. To be quite honest, is because what you've learned is the art of relationship, right? And as you said, other relationships, and but it's always so moving to see that people's relationship with their children and their parents change, because those are the main ones, isn't it? And it's directly correlated, that the way the level of issue we have with our parents, or maybe one parent in particular, is exactly proportionate to how much issue, difficulty we have in our intimate relationships, and the way of healing one is the same thing for healing the other as well.
When I used to go home, I had this sword in my hand and the shield to protect myself, and that was how I met my father. And now I was like, more soft and more. It was such a difference.
That's
And I also encouraged the masculine things he tried to do, and then he continued to do them more. And we had really
that's it.
nice time.
And
That's it. You know, you're able to receive it, right? And when you can receive it, suddenly you get more of it. And it's the same thing we notice for basically everything in life, to be honest. The more you open up to receive it, the more you get given. And did you notice that too, Magnus?
Yes, of course. And she inspired me a lot. She's been reading both in this course she's been doing with you, and she's reading a lot. And I've been we've been talking a lot of these things, and so I learned a lot, and it has also enlightened me and make me do other things with my kids and have other discussions, and I reflecting more on our relationships with the kids and other people also. So all of this talking change has made me made me better also. I would say
I laughed yesterday because he was seeing a Rocky movie with his son, and I was preparing for this interview in the bedroom, and he texted me, "Do you know that they're talking about relationships in the Rocky movie?"
Wow. You're one of a kind, Magnus. Wow. So your radar's really gone up. You're really tuned in and curious. It's a real shift.
And this is it. You know, when I hope that everybody listening to this, watching this, takes note of that us men, we put our attention more into areas where we are winning. You know, when we feel like we're constantly losing at something, we don't want to do it. You know, but when we are winning there, when when we're being supported, actually, as opposed to expected and pressured, now it starts to show up. And so a lot of women have this idea that men aren't interested in relationships and all of that. And, you know, it is different for men and women, the relationship to relationship, but it's entirely possible. And I really feel that from you, Magnus, is this, you're in it. You know, I'm very sensitive. I can feel when I meet a couple, I think we all can, to be honest, you can feel when somebody's in that relationship or when they're not. And what I feel from you is that, you know, you are Anna's man and that she can feel it. And it's really beautiful to see.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful. And I can't help as well, but just really feel just both of your hearts, you know, there's because it's so not easy to make these shifts. And there's something just the way you're laughing together, just this openness and beauty, and just feels very blessed, your relationship. There's something really strong coming through. It's because we work with so many couples and women, so we know how difficult this stuff is. I mean, you would know. You just look out in the world today, how challenging it is. So you must just feel so grateful and blessed.
I don't think any of us believe that we should sit here today together, because it was so bad.
It was more like, when do we break up?
Oh, wow. And so then our last question would be, do you have any advice you would give to women, any women who are watching this, who are struggling in relationship, just feeling like a bit like maybe you were at that point, Anna, before you came and had that chat with Sharif?
Except taking your course then. So that really changed everything for me, because it was so complete. And I walked this path in 42 years and did the same thing, to be able to change this, the exercises and the that really made me change the path. But I thought about that question, and I think for me, when I understood that I had to change the focus to me, because I can't find a man that will do all these things for me. It's not him that is wrong all the time. So but it was so hard to change the focus to me, because then I had to admit that I have stuff to work with. Yeah, but that's
Aw.
a big change, I think, to change the focus. Because
Mm.
if the relationship hadn't worked out, I still have me, and a strong me.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah,
That's
thank
so
you.
nice. And Magnus, actually, I'm curious. Same question to you then. If I don't know if you've thought about this much, but if you had, if women were asking you, okay, what do I need to do to make my man, give me more love or attention or whatever, to be more in the relationship, would you have an answer for them?
It would be the same. Just ignore him. Focus on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Ignore him. Perfect.
we are in a relationship because we want to, and we need to stand steady on our own to be able to give. All of us needs to be strong and know what we feel and what we want to be able to give, because it needs to feel right for ourselves also when you do it. So I think the bottom line is that everybody needs to be strong to be able to live by yourself and be happy with that, and then
Yeah.
Yes.
want to give it to someone else.
Yes, yeah. It's this thing of we're not really ready for relationship with somebody else until we can be alone and okay,
No.
And the important distinction to make though, right, is that and Anna will attest to this because she tried this before, right? Which is if you can't fake it, right? You can't
No.
pretend
No.
to be okay, and you can't just sort of, okay, if I ignore this person for a while, maybe they'll give me something later. Like it doesn't work, right? So this deep internal shift, and what I hear you saying, Magnus, is that she came home to herself and really became honestly sort of spiritually okay in herself, which fills that void inside that previously she was putting on you, and then that's when you're free to actually be in the relationship now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it was that post that you did, Sharif, that made me contact you when you said something like, you have to be so strong that you could leave the relationship, then you will know if you should stay or you should go. And I think that was what was the reason that I didn't leave the relationship, because and you as well, because you said, I don't know what is the relationship and what is me.
Right.
So, yeah.
That's a great point, Anna. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
That the truth is that the place that when you're in a relationship that's not doing well, that's in trouble, where you're unhappier now than you were before the relationship, and all of that kind of stuff. The truth is that the place that someone needs to get to in themselves to get to a place where they can leave the relationship in a way that is clean, that isn't. It has certainty that isn't, harmful really and difficult, is the same
and isn't
place.
running away.
Yeah, and isn't just running away. Great point. Is the same place that you need to get to heal that relationship and turn it into the kind of partnership that you both have now. And so it's the same thing. Breakup coach, relationship coach, all these things. The truth is, it's the same.
Yeah, no, that is such a key point, because so many women are going to be at that point, Anna. So
thank
you for sharing that.
And people around us, not all people, but a lot of people told us, okay, you're unhappy, leave the relationship. But no, that didn't feel right for none of us, I think.
And thank God you didn't, because you both have something so beautiful now.
Yeah.
No, it is. It's so beautiful. I feel so blessed just hearing you and being around your energy. It's so gorgeous, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. No, thank you. It's we love speaking with you, Anna, and you too, Magnus. Now that we've met you, and just feel the results of honestly all the hard work that you've done, Anna, because it's Magnus is showing up, and you can really be proud of that, Magnus. But I also just want to sort of shine the light on Anna here, who really, and we felt this from you in the program, is this kind of, because it wasn't easy. Some people, I have to say, come through like, from day one to the end. Every now and then you get somebody who mostly just sort of dance through it. And then sometimes people, it's kind of they've got a bit more to sort of move through. But what you did so beautifully was just, it was so brave, actually, that you had this kind of bravery to just, as you said, surrender to the process, which is, not easy.
No, I really felt that too. This real grace. Yeah, it was, it was really humbling to see, because we both knew how challenging it was and how painful it was. And just the grace that you were able to show up was amazing. Just this, like you said, I guess that shift that you'd made, of I'm just gonna not know anything, and I'm just gonna trust this process. It's so fundamental.
And it took some time because I think it was after I finished the program that that the biggest change came, because everything had to land in me.
That's a really good point too.
Oh, well, thank you so much. And again, it's so beautiful to see you both, and we're very grateful for you to provide this this beacon of light, really, for other people to know that it's possible.
Yes.
Thank you so much. It's going to be so powerful. Hope you both have a really beautiful day.
Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed that amazing interview with Anna and Magnus. And I just wanted to offer a bit of a reflection, really. You may have been wondering, well, what exactly did she have to do in order to create this change, in order to create this sort of, to get this attention and presence and this openness, new heart openness from Magnus. And some of you may have picked up on the fact that it seemed like it wasn't so much of a doing, but more of an undoing. And you may have picked up on this word that Anna used, which is surrender. She surrendered to the process, as she said. And for many people, that word is a heavily loaded word, a very difficult word, a four-letter word, if you will, because it feels like, it makes one oftentimes feel vulnerable and sort of in danger, honestly. But here's the truth, is if you notice that it didn't seem like Anna had to do much, is because that is kind of true. What really opens up the heart connection pathways in relationship oftentimes comes so much more down to an undoing of old patterns, of traumas many times, of conditioning that we've received from the world and also our own experiences, which get in the way of real connection and opening up the doors for love, for big love with a big L, to enter into our partnership. So what is it that gets in the way? Like I said, it's old patterns, it's old conditioning. And so much of the time, what we do is help women to reframe those, to undo those, to create new beliefs, what we call empowering beliefs, so that we're not really getting in our own way anymore. And that's not to say there isn't work for, our partner to do or anything like that, but all we can do is our side of the road anyway. And it so happens that it's being proven over and again by us and also other people out there that the best way to heal a relationship is not to do both partners in couples counseling. That honestly is a disaster for many, many reasons. But instead, it's to take one party, almost doesn't matter which one, and then work with that person, and then the whole relationship changes. So look, if you want to speak to us personally and get some clarity on what it is that might be creating these patterns for you, what it is that you need to let go of, and what really might be standing in the way this whole time between you and the relationship that you want, then you can speak to us personally. Go to ledbylove.co, that's ledbylove.co/talk talk, and you will see some slots there to book a free clarity call with either myself or Beth, where we will help you get absolutely clear on where you're at, where your current relationship is currently at, and the real state of affairs, so to speak. And also get you clear on what it is you truly want, because sometimes it's really hard to even know what that is without trying to sort of manage your expectations and things like that. And then the third thing is what it is that needs to shift for you so that you can get from A to B. And if we can help you with that, then we can talk about that or point you in the direction of some resources that will be useful for you. But please go ahead and book that call with us if you feel like you want to get some clarity on how you can achieve what Anna has achieved in her partnership. Just go to ledbylove.co/talk, book an appointment to speak with us, and we'll be happy to speak with you. All right. Take care, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the interview and this little reflection piece as well.